The director of the Advanced Body Sculpt Center, otherwise known as the Obengfo Hospital, has been charged with murder in the death of the deputy CEO of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program. Dr. Dominic Obeng-Ando was denied bail despite pleas from his lawyers that he was unwell. Dr. Obeng-Ando and a cleaner at his facility who was charged with impersonation are to reappear before court on June 15, 2018. Dawn News' Matilda Habamegan was in court and has details in this report.
A pale-looking Dr. Dominic Obeng-Ando of the Obengfo Hospital appeared at the Magistrate Court 8 on Tuesday, aided by a doctor from a hospital in Accra, where he has been receiving medical treatment after his arrest. It's been barely a day since he was arrested for his role in what many have described as mysterious, the death of the Deputy CEO of the NEIP at his hospital. Dr. Obeng-Ando, who is the first accused, was formally charged with murder in accordance with Section 46 of the Criminal Offences Act. The second accused, Edward Amponsa, a cleaner at the Obengfo Hospital, was reported to have lied to officials at the St. Gregory Hospital that the deceased was his sister, as they insisted on the presence of a family before the body could be lodged at their morgue. He was charged with impersonation in accordance with Section 134 of the Criminal Offences Act. The two were picked up on May 24, 2018, after an official report was made by the deceased mother. According to Detective Chief Inspector Simon Aporsonu, the deceased, Stacey Ofe Dakon, went to the Obengfo Hospital on May 20, 2018 for liposuction and fat transfer surgery. She, however, died midway after being admitted for a while on May 21, 2018. Until now, it was unclear what exactly the late Stacey Dakon had gone to do at the Obengfo Hospital. Dr. Obeng-Ando, together with Edward Amponsa, the cleaner, prepared her body for the morgue without notifying her family of her death. 3 different hospitals are said to have rejected the body as they could not prove the presence of a relative. At the St. Gregory Hospital at Bujumbura, the body was accepted into the morgue. Because the cleaner posed as an elder brother to the deceased. The family of the deceased knew about her death on May 24, after which they filed an official complaint with the police, leading to the arrest of Dr. Obeng-Ando. Both the doctor and the cleaner were picked up, but the doctor is said to have fallen ill on Friday and has been on admission at the hospital since. He has been remanded in police custody after he was denied bail. He is to be in hospital and assist the police with investigations into the matter. For Joy News, Matilda Habamegan, Accra.
Well, Matthew Yao Trem is Registrar of the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, and he's been speaking on this matter as to why the facility is still functioning. He spoke to Daniel Dadzi on the Super Morning Show.
So far as that facility is concerned, we have not registered them officially. We are aware of them and we are in the process of doing that. As you know, the case is in court, so it really weakens anybody who has to do anything without compromising the court process. The Act says that any health facility, whether public or private, to be able to operate in Ghana should be registered and licensed by this agency. But I mean, there are a lot or some facilities or some parts of the country where they are not following the rules as have been laid down by law. But gradually the law will catch up with them, and we at HEFRA are making sure that we are following the processes to ensure that those who are supposed to register with that are properly registered with that.
Okay, let's use Obengfo as a case study. Have you made contact with that hospital?
Yes, we have. Since we follow a process, we register a facility. In this case, because they were registered under the Private Hospital and Maternity Homes Board in 2003, they have a license which goes on because that board did not give any limit to licenses which are given to health facilities. But our process is that we will have to check, according to the law, all the things that need to be in place for us to be able to register them. So we are going through that process. In fact, on the 22nd of May, we did a review of the case, and we are embarking on certain actions to be able to ensure that they are on the right side of the law. But I mean, it has been right that some people have been advised not to use the facility because of the issues. And obviously what can happen is that until the court process is finished, they will have to maybe cease operation until the process. But if they want to insist on their legal rights as Ghanaian and as any business in this country, they can say that where the court process is going in place, you cannot prejudge what is going to be the determination by the judge. Therefore, things would carry on as they are until the court makes a determination. So the weakness in this case is the fact that the courts have taken this long to determine the matter. And therefore, there is some weakness in the system that is making it possible for them to operate.
Mr. Chairman, you are referring to the appeals court process that Dr. Obengfo himself triggered after he had a run-in with the Medical and Dental Council, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that appeals court process has to do with Dr. Obengfo as an individual, his license too.
Yes.
But you regulate the agency, Obengfo Hospital, that facility, right? Yes. So the question here is that the registration process began, or licensing process began, as you told me, last year. Yes. Why has it taken about a year for it to conclude?
As I said, it's a process. And the process is checking and making sure that certain things are in place. So far as we are concerned, we are still in the process of making sure that all these things are in place. Okay? One of which is what I'm mentioning, the fact that Dr. Dominic Obengfo is one of the staff there. And we need to ensure that he is properly registered with the Medical and Dental Council. But he is not. And the reason why he is not is that he is in court. So we cannot go there and say, Dr. Obengfo, you are not properly registered with Medical and Dental Council, therefore we cannot do X, Y, Z. When that is determined, we will do what we have to do. But I would say that notwithstanding, we are following certain processes to ensure that facility is doing the right thing according to the law. Dr. Obengfo, according to our records, is registered as the director of the place, or the owner. We have one Dr. Moses Thompson, who is the practitioner in charge. Dr. Moses Thompson is properly registered with Medical and Dental Council. He's on the Gazette. We have done our check. He's in good standing with Medical and Dental Council, and therefore he can be responsible with respect to the technical operation of the facility. But that notwithstanding, all the other medical staff that are there are also to be in good standing and having their pins and their professional qualifications and being regulated by the professional councils. Okay, we are aware of them. They were licensed under the private Hospital and Maternity Homes Board way back in 2003, which license gave no limit to expiration in terms of that license. Therefore, so far as maybe they are concerned, they are registered with that body. Okay. Now, the Act, when it came into force in 2012 or 2011, says that all those facilities that were registered before us, when the expiration of their license happens, they should begin the process of being licensed by us. Now, what we call that migration. So they are migration from the old board to this agency. Okay, so, and I say that is a process. Okay, and the process has got a weakness, and the weakness is that even though other things are in place at the hospital with respect to the infrastructure, the building, the equipment, and other personnel which we check, there's one person there who is the owner, who is a medical doctor, who is practicing against the advice of the Medical and Dental Council, which we cannot do much about because the case is in court. When that case is determined and it is finally decided that Dr. Obengfo is no longer registered with Medical and Dental Council, we would go in there and say that you cannot practice in this facility even though it belongs to you, because according to the law, you should be properly registered with a professional body and you should be in good standing with that professional body. Until that happens, we will not be able to tell him this, we will not be able to quote this part of the law to him. But I mean, obviously, there have been an advice to the general public not to use the facility because of this. We are going to go into the facility to check more things, okay, not because of what has happened, even though what has happened makes it more urgent. It's because we are following the process and making sure that things are in place. Now, after our checks, we would come out with a press statement or with advice to the general public and determine whether we can close the facility or not.